My dying mom made me promise never to tell my dad he's not my biological father. I'm 15 years old, and until a month ago, I thought I knew exactly who my family was. Now I feel like my entire life is built on a secret that's slowly crushing me. My mom died of cancer 26 days ago. Even writing that still feels unreal, like I'm talking about someone else's life. Cancer didn't just take her, it hollowed her out slowly, piece by piece, until she barely looked the woman who used to sing off-key in the kitchen and embarrass me at the grocery store. The last few weeks before she died were quiet in a way that felt wrong, like the house itself was holding its breath. My dad barely left her side. He slept in a chair next to her bed, his neck bent at an awkward angle, his face permanently tired. He still kissed her forehead every morning, still told her he loved her like it mattered, like it could change something. I watched all of that, and I didn't know that underneath it, everything was about to shatter. 3 days before my mom died, my grandma asked me to come to the hospital earlier than usual. She said my mom wanted to talk to me alone. That should have scared me more than it did. When I walked into the room, the air felt heavier, the blinds were half closed, and the machines made soft beeping sounds that felt way too loud. My grandma sat on one side of the bed, holding my mom's hand. My mom looked smaller than ever. She smiled when she saw me, but her eyes were glassy, like she'd already started leaving. She asked my grandma to stay. That's when my stomach dropped. She started by saying my name slowly, carefully. Then she told me she loved me more than anything, that no matter what, I was the best thing that ever happened to her. Then she said there was something she had to tell me. I remember staring at the wall behind her bed, counting the tiny cracks in the paint, because something in my chest told me my life was about to change. She told me that my dad is not my biological father. She said it flat and careful, almost rehearsed. I didn't understand at first. I thought she'd something medical, a mistake, a test mix-up. Then she said she had an affair. My grandma squeezed her hand tighter. She told me that years ago, when my parents were going through a rough patch after immigrating, she cheated on my dad. She said it only lasted a short time. She said she found out she was pregnant and didn't know who the father was. She said she chose to believe it was my dad's, except it wasn't. She knew. She always knew. And my biological father is the man she cheated with. The room felt like it was tilting. I remember asking very quietly if Dad knew. She shook her head. No, she said, and he can never know. She asked me if I hated her. I didn't. I was numb, confused, angry in a way that hadn't figured out how to exist yet. She asked me if I forgave her. She was dying. She looked so fragile, so scared. So I said yes. Then she said it was her dying wish that I never tell my dad the truth, ever. I didn't answer right away. That's when my grandma started talking too. She said there was no reason to hurt my dad, that it would only destroy him, that he loved me and my mom, and that the truth would ruin everything for no reason. My mom started crying. She said she couldn't die knowing she destroyed her family. She said she needed peace. They both kept looking at me, waiting. I didn't want to promise. Something in me screamed that this was wrong, that I shouldn't have to carry this. But she was dying. So I promised, and then she smiled like a weight had lifted off her chest. 3 days later, she was gone. Everyone kept telling me how strong I was. They told me I was just like my mom. My dad cried into my hair at the funeral and told me I was the reason he could keep going. He said I was his miracle, his girl. Every time he said it, I felt sick because he didn't know, and I did. At night, I replayed that hospital room over and over in my head. I wondered how long she had known. I wondered if she ever looked at me and saw him instead. I started seeing my dad differently too. Every smile, every hug, every I love you felt heavier, more fragile, like I was lying just by existing. A week after the funeral, I broke. I told my grandma I felt guilty. I told her it felt wrong to keep this from my dad, that he deserved to know the truth about his own life. She didn't hesitate. She told me I would be destroying his memory of his dead wife. She said I would be selfish. She said I would be dragging up something that should stay buried. Then she said something that still echoes in my head. If you tell him, I will never speak to you again. She said I'd ruin my mom's reputation, that people would remember her as a cheater instead of a loving wife who died too young. Then she looked at me and said, and if he knows, he might not want you anymore. That part broke me. My dad is all I have. My parents immigrated here alone. My dad's parents live in another country. I've met them a few times, but we're not close. My grandma is my only family on my mom's side. If I tell my dad, I could lose my grandma. If I don't, I might be lying to the only person who's never failed me. I started therapy, but my therapist won't tell me what to do. She says this isn't a decision anyone can make for me. But I'm 15. I don't want to be the keeper of a secret that big. Sometimes I watch my dad when he doesn't know I'm looking, when he's washing dishes or folding laundry, moving on pure habit. I wonder if he'd still look at me the same way if he knew. I wonder if love can survive something like this. I wonder if my mom knew exactly what she was doing when she made me promise, if she passed her guilt on to me so she wouldn't have to carry it into death. I wonder if keeping this secret is really protecting my dad or protecting her. If I tell my dad, I could destroy him. If I don't, I might destroy myself. I didn't ask to be born from an affair. I didn't ask to know this. I didn't ask to be responsible for everyone else's happiness. But here I am. So I'm asking strangers on the internet because I don't know where else to turn. Do I tell him? Do I keep my promise to a dying woman, or do I tell the man who raised me the truth about his life no matter the cost? Because right